Hello and welcome, and I'm so excited because this is my first child. This, as you know, is my wife Sarah. This is my first child, born at 5:01 this morning on the 16th of August 2010. His name is Lucas Alan Mulliner. So looking at the clock there, 1, 2, 3, 4, he's 5 hours and 15 minutes old. And what was interesting, here we are at Helme Chase. It's a gorgeous day outside. My wife gave birth in here with our first, and I probably think only child that we're going to have. So it's quite an experience having a water birth at Helme Chase in Kendal in the UK, and it was just incredible. I feel so humbled that I have a new teacher in my life, and that would be him, because you're going to breastfeed, okay. What I found is that obviously a baby hasn't been conditioned, indoctrinated, programmed, whatever term you want to use, unlike ourselves, and so my level of non-disturbance is going to be tested. Very interesting. But what I wanted also to point out here is that my child is not going to be inoculated with any vaccine. You probably know from some of my previous recordings that vaccinations are not safe and also not proven to be effective. And if you look at the work at Dr. Sherry Tenpenny and also Dr. Russell Blaylock, there's stack loads of research on the Journal of American Medical Association and the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, and they've literally brought the stuff together and explained to us. So the MMR, the whooping cough, you name it, no vaccination is going to be given to our child. Now I know in some states that's a challenge because they demand it, although you can fill out certain forms and exemplary to do that, and I recommend you go to saying no to vaccines, I think it is, yeah, saying no to vaccines, or Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, and find the relevant form if you need to do that if you live in the US. The other thing that came up is that we've been asked if our child will be vaccinated with vitamin K, and the reason they do this is because the research shows that there are some babies, I think it's 1.5 out of 100,000, may perhaps have bleeding in the brain, and it can cause brain damage. Now, when you look at the research, if you give them a vaccine which is 20,000 times more concentrated with vitamin K, they've got a small percentage chance of contracting childhood leukemia, which obviously is not a good trade-off. So what I've then done some research. I went to Dr. McCullough's website, and there's a great article on there, and we've decided that we're going to feed little bits of this orally to him. And again, reading from the script, but it clearly states on here that breastfed infants can be supplemented with several low oral doses of liquid vitamin K, possibly 200 micrograms per week for 5 weeks, totaling 1 milligram. Even more gradual introduction may be better, but the research on there from even 6 studies showing that there's a 10 to 20% increased risk of childhood leukemia, which I don't think so. So my point is this: whether you feel that you are well, you're certainly inoculating some toxins into your child which has a very poor immune system when it pops out, then it may have a fighting chance, it may not, again depending on its immunity. I personally, as I say, will not be having my child vaccinated, and I suggest you do your own homework on that. Don't buy into my stuff, because there are always consequences to actions, whether you do something or whether you don't do anything. But I know that Bambino will be fine without having the inoculation, we both know that. But even the other way of taking a supplement, because we know vitamin K is important, works in partnership with things like calcium, magnesium, and also vitamin D for strengthening bones, but it's also used to help the platelets to clot, blood clotting in the human body. But just watching him being breastfed at my wife, and I find that again, when you take something in excess, I mean, think of it, 20,000 times more concentrated. I mean, that's just like to me that's toxic. So there's just no way that's going to happen. But I'm so blessed to have it, and he hasn't really cried, has he? I mean, he's been out of your womb now for 5 hours and 21 minutes, and he's hardly cried at all. But then, as you know, my wife was taking vitamin D liquid, certainly because she hasn't been out much in the sun, because that's the first primary role to getting that. She's been taking good supplements, eating organic whole alive foods, and also omega-3, which is very essential for, certainly for the grey cell development. And no cravings, no highs and lows, no sicknesses, no nothing. So it's been an interesting experience, hasn't it, for both of us really, with applying the information that I have and that she knows, and actually seeing the outcome at the end. Anyway, I'm just really excited to show off my baby, so you're the first to see him, and very honoured and privileged to have a baby, a child in our lives. Thank you for watching. My love to you all. Have a great day. Bye for now.